So just as a quick refresher, our event reports are some of a underutilized feature in CBRNResponder. So some folks might not even know what they are. Just to answer that question, the event reports are an automatic document that are generated by CBRNResponder at the event level. So they allow users to quickly pull high-level information from the event. And these reports can include summarizations of event activity, field team assessments, sampling forms, barcodes, and etc. So really, it can be, there are 6 different types of reports, and we're going to just go through and highlight each one. Your organization might be able to utilize all 6 or just one. We're just wanting to highlight them all so that you know exactly where they are and how to use them. So again, I did say these are in the event side of things. So to navigate there, you're going to want to either use the green tile, event tile that is in the post login homepage, or you can use the event tab that is on the top banner to navigate to the event space. And once you're there, you will find the reports page from the far left side menu, and you're going to have to scroll down to the bottom to find the reports. It is right above documents and right under lab analysis. So like I said, we are going to be taking a closer look into the 6 different types of reports. And as you can tell by the highlighted in red, we are in the event space, and we have selected that reports page where you can see all 6 of the different types of reports being viewed here. The first one we're going to go over is the event summary report. So as the name suggests, the event summary report is a great after action lessons learned tool that will summarize all data collected. So all you're gonna have to do to get this report is select this blue button that says run report. And depending on the size of your event, this may take a second or even up to a few seconds if it's a larger event and have a lot of data types and things that it needs to process. So as you can see, it will pull all the data types collected and give some other basic information on this first page. So just real high level, giving you the scenario, the release point, the date, the start date, who the sponsor was, what the name was, and the type. As well as you can see, we just used our data collection 101 event. So we have thousands of surveys and different types of observations, and tons of responder tracking has been used as well. So it captured all of that on the first page. And then if you scroll down to other pages, you can get this percent breakup using a pie chart of the assessment. So the survey assessment tally, you can see here that out of the 3,000 surveys, only 88 of them were approved and 53 of them were rejected. And then you can see the dosimetry assessment tally as well as the spectra assessment tally. So just a really good visual aid if you are trying to, once the event is done, you'll be able to just take a quick snapshot here and be able to see all the different data types that were collected. It also will separate all of the data by the organization that collected it and the total number of data points collected per organization. So if it is a large scale event and you had a lot of partners, a lot of different partnerships working on data collection during this event, then it'll be a great tool to just kind of see which organizations were able to collect what data. So as you can see here, we were using our generic Data 101 collection training event. So we have several different organizations that were helping collect data. So the next report that we're going to go over is the field team report. So this can be used to as a documentation tool that can track all field teams during an event, and that includes their assigned personnel and or equipment. So again, just as the last report, you'll have to select that blue run report button, and this may take a second or just a few, depending on the size and how many field teams you have. And from this report, again, it's just going to be a brief description of just some basic information, but you'll be able to see team members, assigned equipment, and other information all in one place. So again, if you're just trying to take some high-level information from your field teams, you'll be able to capture all of those names of the personnel, including the equipment that they were using out in the field. So now we're moving on to our third report that we have, and this is actually a sample control form. So you can print the sample control forms from the event reports page, and you can either print blank sample control forms, or you can actually use samples that already exist in RadResponder to print a sample control form that's filled out. So again, this blue button right here that says generate form, when you select that, you'll be given some options to choose from. Like I said, you can either choose a blank or existing example. Please note that there is a quantity drop down here, and you can select multiple samples, and you'll get this, it's highlighted in red here, you'll get this warning just saying to print multiple samples at the same time, you must go to the event samples page. But you are able to, if you're wanting to just print a single existing sample, it will look like this. So this is just an example of an existing sample that's in RadResponder that you have pulled that information and put it in a sample control form. And as you can see, it's already populated with the information and a barcode as well. So whether your organization this is a great resource to be able to populate blank ones, or you can use those samples that are already been collected in RadResponder. This is a great tool for any organization that uses sample control forms. And again, the last page of this sample control form actually provides 9 different chain of custody transfer lines. So you're able to be able to track exactly what organization, what personnel, because there is a signature option, has control of that sample and it also allows you to date and time that as well. So you always know who is supposed to be responsible for that sample at any given time. So again, just a very valuable tool that not a lot of people know about. Moving right along into barcodes, this is another awesome feature in RadResponder and CBRNResponder that you can actually generate barcodes directly from the CBRNResponder website, and this allows you to track those samples from all stages of the event, from the collection and creation of the sample all the way to their analytical results. So each barcode is unique to the sample that it is paired with, and you can actually have multiple copies of the same barcode that can be printed at once. So you can actually put the barcode on the sample. So say you have a soil sample, you can slap the barcode on the soil sample as well as the sample control form and whatever tools or equipment that you use to gather the soil samples, so that all 3 of those things or 2 of those things that you've paired will have that same barcode, so you know that they're all connected and related. So again, same as the other reports, you just want to use that blue button to generate the barcode down there, highlighted in red. And for the barcodes, you're going to have a couple different drop-down options here. First of which is which organization will the barcodes be associated with, and then the next would be whether you'd like to print a new set of barcodes or reprint an existing set, the quantity, and then also how many copies do you want. So the quantity and the copies are separate. Like I said, you want copies if you're going to be pairing sample control forms and actual physical samples, and then quantity can be as many samples as you need. You can print out those many barcodes. So you can also identify the label prefix, and then you also have an option of barcode types. We do give the option between these 2, the PDF 417 and the code 39 barcode types. So whatever tech that you are using, your organization has, you can use between those two. And here's an example of when you click generate, it'll create a PDF of labels, and it'll be 30 labels per sheet. So this, you can control how many labels per sheet you want. This is just an example of the 30 labels per sheet. So one thing I did want to point out is that you can actually scan barcodes via the RadResponder and ChemResponder mobile app. So you can enter the ID manually, or you can actually use the camera on your phone to scan the barcode that is either on your sample or that is on the sample control form. So as you can see here, this is a screenshot from the mobile app. When you are in the sample type, so I just selected soil sample type, you can either type it in manually, but if you select this miniature barcode right here, it'll pull up your cell phone's camera, and you'll be able to use that to directly figure out what barcode you're scanning, what sample that is associated to. So moving on to our next type of report, we do have the analysis request form. So commonly referred to as an ARF. They contain information about samples to be analyzed and instructions for the analysis methods to be used by the lab receiving the samples. So when you select generate form, you'll be asked the request number, and so as you can see here, we have selected just this demonstration number, and the form has information about the ARF itself and general instructions for the lab. So this is a great way to keep inventory of these different data types, so as well as just kind of giving step-by-step directions of when it gets received by the lab, what are they going to do to it. So again, you're just tracking this data from the conception of being out in the field and collected all the way to the transportation and delivery to the labs. And the page that follows will contain matrices for each sample with the analytics of and the methods for the analysis. So as you can see here, it's all listed out to give you, step by step, exactly what's happening to it and when it's happening. So, and again, very similar to those sample control forms, you do have on that last page a sheet to track a chain of custody, again with the name, signature, and time and date stamp, just so you know exactly who is responsible for the sample at what given time. And then finally, we do have the event dosimetry report. So this gives you the ability to check the accumulated exposure throughout the event. You can run this report on an individual personnel, or you can also do it as a field team as a whole. So again, same as all the other reports, you're just going to select that blue button to run the actual report. And as you can see, you can select the radiation type that you're looking for, as well as filtering between whether you want to check for everyone in your organization, an individual personnel, or a specific field team. And then you'll see that the report itself actually gives you the accumulated dose as well as the accumulated time as well. So it's a very useful tool, and it is the last of our 6 reports. So I do just want to note, while there is not an event report that downloads all event data, you are actually able to use the export function under each specific data type and have an external copy of all event data. So I will note that the data tables will export exactly as they're shown in the website. So that's why I just wanted to show you to make use of this filter and choose visible column features. So If you're unaware of what I'm talking about, you can go to each data type in the event, and you'll see at the top of that page for that data type, there is the export feature right there, and you are able to export all the data that is visible below onto an Excel document if you would like to have all data. So again, you can filter out different severity levels or who is collected by, and you can actually just limit down the visible columns as well. So you can have it as vast or specific as you would like.